A major plane crash has happened, and this is coming out of Asia. All right. And you can see here this plane, it lost lift in its left wing. You can see it started to dive to the left because it seems like it's stalled out. That's what a lot of the experts are speculating, that this plane stalled out and lost the lift in its left wing and caused a massive crash to happen. And this is devastating because this is one of these things where we expect air travel to just be safe. And it typically is safe and even safer than traveling in a car. But we have a normalcy bias about it where we think, we'll be fine. But it's always in the back of my head that, hey, this is a flying metal can in the air and things could go wrong. And you should always be prepared. You should always be prepared, dressed accordingly in case an emergency does happen on your flight. All right. So devastating news coming out of Asia here, out of the country of Nepal, which is right in between India and China, both of them borders China and India. You've probably heard of this country a million times, Nepal. And very sad news. You can see here that this plane, this is the before and this is the after. So it starts to stall out here. This is a still from a video that somebody shot of the plane, and the plane is moving very slow at this point, and you can even see that the nose of it is up and the tail is down. So the plane's definitely stalling. It almost looks like it's about to land or something like that, but it's not. It's stalling out, and that stall caused the left wing to lose aerodynamics and lose its lift capacity. And once that happens, the plane is essentially in free fall and is going down. And this was a propeller plane. You can see here it is an ATR-72. It's a twin engine propeller model plane, not a giant jumbo jet plane, but still devastating. And there have been dozens of casualties from this event as well. All right, so let's dive into some of the details here. You can see out of CNN is reporting at least 68 people in Nepal's worst airplane crash in 30 years. All right, so dozens of casualties and possibly even more. They are still looking for people, and there's still people that are unaccounted for. So very tragic news coming out of Asia here, coming out of Nepal. And it's just, we don't expect this to happen on a plane, on a flight. You don't expect your flight to just lose lift, stall out. There must have been some kind of engine failure, something along those lines, and crash. All right. And it says the Civilian Aviation Authority said that 53 of the passengers and all 4 crew members were Nepali. 15 foreign nationals were on the plane as well. 5 were Indian, 4 were Russian, 2 were Korean. The rest were individual citizens of Australia, Argentina, France, and Ireland. So this is affecting multiple countries. There was tons of foreign nationals on this plane as well. All right, that's why this is a big story. It's a big story either way, but this is affecting a lot of countries. All right, a lot of people are suffering from this. It says the aircraft had been flying from the capital of Kathmandu to Pokhara, the country's second most populous city and a gateway to the Himalayas. The country's state media, the Rising Nepal, reported Pokhara is located some 129 kilometers or 80 miles west of Kathmandu. The plane was last in contact with the airport at about 10:50 a.m. local time, about 18 minutes after takeoff. It then went down in the nearby Seti River Gorge. First responders from the Nepal Army and various police departments have been deployed to the crash site and are carrying out a rescue operation, the Civilian Aviation Authority said in a statement. All right, so this is a devastating event that happened here. And it's one of these things, we have a normalcy bias about it, but just in recent years, there's been multiple engine failures, multiple emergency events on American airlines too. In the United States, this has happened as well too. There's been flights to Hawaii that have crashed in the water. There have been multiple flights that have had to make emergency landings. All right, I should have screenshotted some of the articles here, but just looking back in history, reminding myself this has happened multiple times in the past few years in the United States as well. All right, it's just one of these things you never know. You never know when it's going to happen. You never know when it's your day for the plane to go down. All right, I'm sure everyone was doing their job, everyone was doing their part, but sometimes that's the way the cards fold. All right, and if you are in a plane crash, all right, the best place to survive is typically the tail end of the plane. Typically on a plane crash, you never know, but statistically, that's what the numbers say is the tail end of the plane. And the larger the plane, the more likely you are to survive. This plane was a smaller plane, a twin engine propeller plane. So that's why the devastation is very high, right? Because it's not a massive plane. It's not a small plane either, but it's not a massive jumbo jet, which probably has higher survival odds. The other thing that was noted is that you need to get out of the plane as soon as possible. All right. If you do survive a initial impact, it was saying you have 90 seconds to get out of the plane, all right, and get as far away as possible, because a lot of times you can survive an initial impact, but then there is a massive explosion afterward. And also make sure you have your foraging skills up as well. All right. If you live in North America, there are tons of foraging opportunities if you're in a survival situation, and you can eat pine needles from a tree. All right. You can literally eat pine needles from a tree. You can eat cattails. You can literally eat cattails. You know what cattails are? You've seen them a million times. You can eat those. All right. There's tons of wild root crops. There's tons of wild onions and all over the United States. All right, I've seen them before. You go to certain little grassy areas, it smells like onions. All right, and then you look down, there's literally just thousands of onions all over the ground, little scallions, little onion bulbs all over the place. All right, so it's one of these things. Foraging opportunities are everywhere. Berries, beauty berries, raspberries. All right, I've seen raspberries all over the United States. Random places, gas stations. I'll see raspberry bushes sometimes, and a lot of times people don't even know it's a raspberry bush. All right, it just looks like a random bush, but if you know what kind of plant it is, you can find them. All right, they're all over the place, especially if you live in North America. All right, so just have your survival skills up, be prepared. You never know. I never even fly on planes or anything like that, but you never know. So let me know what you guys think about this. This is a tragic situation coming out of Asia. All right, thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a big old blessed day.